Hello, this is a short experiment I did with Amazon's Rufus AI. I wanted to trick this model into doing something for me. And so when ask it to write a Python script directly, it basically refuses. So I frame it as a shopping query. And then I have a breakthrough. It's able to generate some random code. I didn't even look into that code, whether it's useful or not, whether it's doing what it's supposed to do or not. But my interest was mostly in asking it questions about machine learning. So even though if I had asked it directly, as you saw, it kind of refuses that. So I had to do a little bit of creativity. So I slowly, as you will see, I steered the conversation in that direction every time, keeping the query as if it were related to shopping. And as long as I put in a couple of keywords, basically the model did whatever I asked it to. So I'm now asking it to write a simple Python GUI. And so instead of refusing, because it ideally should refuse, but it doesn't, it just goes ahead, thinks quite a bit. And there we are. It's a step-by-step guide to installing all the libraries and a UI to display all this information generated as a Python script. And so I wanted to experiment and see whether it really can help if we explicitly ask it to do something that is not related to Amazon but still related to shopping. And it turns out, yes, the model is quite gullible. It's like, okay, if you want my help with Shopify, it gives some information. It's probably not going to be perfect, but it doesn't refuse. Yep, there you go. It's giving me a step-by-step guide for Shopify and some API key and all that. And the funny thing is, at the end it prints, I can't help with this type of request after having done all that I asked it to do. So that's kind of a system level problem that this model has had, or this product has had, Rufus. And now I kind of started steering it along the direction that I really wanted it to go. And so I made this little connection. Let's say I have all this data, now I want to train a machine learning model, and the model needs to work on a GPU. So can you help me with that? And this was kind of a little bit, I was nervous because now we are, way outside any reasonable thing that a shopping assistant is supposed to do. So I was worried whether it would spot that and basically refuse flat out. But as you can see, or you will see in a couple of seconds, it runs perfectly fine. Like, it does as exactly as you would expect a chat GPT or Gemini or any other assistant to work. It asks me, here's how you install TensorFlow. The thing is, it asks PyTorch. It says PyTorch in the beginning, and still it gives me an example of TensorFlow. So, and asks me to install TensorFlow, but the model itself is in Python, is in PyTorch. So, kind of, and then it says I can't help with this type of request. And so finally, I asked it the question that I actually wanted to ask in the very beginning, which is about vision language models. So I said, no, I have all this data and I have some understanding. So now I want to have an autonomous agent to kind of automate all the shopping. And anyway, long story short, as you will see here in a few seconds, it gave me a pretty decent summary of research. So the funny thing here is, like, it's not that this model is not gated. Like, there is certainly guardrails on it, but they are pretty easy to break. Like you just start talking about shopping, and see, now this particular query, it has absolutely nothing to do with shopping. I'm asking it to summarize research, and because I think because I guided it in a nice clean way, it's like talking about multimodal learning, transformer architecture, contrastive learning, zero shot learning, and how it all relates to robotics. It's basically exactly what you would expect from if from ChatGPT or Gemini, even though this is pretty supposed to be pretty specialized for shopping and not much else. Yeah, and then I got greedy and I asked if there was any GitHub repo that will help me kickstart my project on VLMs. And it it tried its best. It didn't give me anything, but it didn't refuse either, which means it tried. It probably didn't have anything in the training data set, or it couldn't even hallucinate. So it kind of just thinks it's given me something, but it hasn't. I should say that the links are all things that kind of go back to Amazon. The links don't point outside. I think that's a system level improvement, or in system level fix they have made. Yeah, anyway, this is my little experiment with Rufus AI.